Hello and welcome to another edition of For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. We are very happy to have the fine folks from the Connecticut Humane Society back with us for another great show. And in the second segment, we'll have a special guest. His name is Moser. But in the meantime, a special guest in her own right, the Public Relations Director for the Connecticut Humane Society, Alicia Wright. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us. We are so pleased you chose to invite us again. We have so many stories to share. So thank you.
You are very welcome. So everyone's got to know about the Humane Society, but kind of give us a synopsis of what it is as an organization.
We are over 130 years old. We're a private nonprofit organization funded totally by donors and our programs and services. We are not affiliated with the state or with any national organizations, which is a common misconception. We're independently owned and operated. We have 3 shelters, Newington, Waterford, and Westport, and we help over 6,000 animals per year through our adoption and pet surrender services. We have dog training services available for clients, both who adopt from the Connecticut Humane Society or clients who just want to come and utilize our dog training services. We have a veterinary clinic for the public located at our Newington facility, the Fox Memorial Clinic, and we offer reduced fee veterinary care there for people who are in financial need. We have a pet food pantry to help people keep their pets at homes and out of shelters. So we've got a lot of really wonderful, great things going on in our organization.
That's amazing. These things have to get funded, though. The money has to come from somewhere. So,
absolutely.
So how does that work?
Well, you can support the Connecticut Humane Society in so many different ways. You can elect to become a donor through our mail campaign. You can become a monthly donor. You can consider leaving us in your will and become a planned giver. We have donors that come to us from companies who do company match donations. You can organize a fundraiser, a third-party fundraiser like a lemonade stand or a car wash. You can participate in one of our 3 signature events that we hold throughout the year. You can also become a volunteer.
Yeah.
And of course, you can choose to adopt from us because if we don't have people coming to adopt our animals, then we can't take any new animals in. So there are so many ways that people can support the Connecticut Humane Society.
What is the status of the Connecticut Humane Society in the sense of what's coming into your facilities and as far as people's knowledge and understanding of you should get a rescue pet as opposed to
very good question.
Going through whatever they call them, breeders and even pet shops and stuff.
Right.
Talk about that a little bit.
Well, we are very fortunate in the Northeast. Many of our fellow citizens in this area of the country understand the importance of rescuing pets. But unfortunately, nationwide, there are still 6 to 8 million pets that become homeless every year, and only 50% of those pets are lucky enough to find a new home. So there is still a lot of work that needs to be done. And I think the biggest thing we want to convey to people is that when you adopt from a shelter, you are not adopting someone else's problem. You are able to get a purebred or a mixed breed. You're able to get a puppy or a kitten or a mature adult dog that knows their manners, or even a senior pet who is looking for a wonderful retirement home. So there's lots of choices available for people. We of course have cats and dogs, but lots of other fun other pets like rats and mice and chinchillas and birds. So there's lots of different animals to choose from to become a companion for your family. We want to remind people that if they choose to patronize a pet store and get a dog from a pet store, they are very likely supporting puppy mills, which are a very egregious breeding operation. It's a factory breeding operation, and the people that run puppy mills do not have care for their animals. Veterinary care is often non-existent. And oftentimes when the puppy mills are inspected, there are cruelty complaints that are pending. So you really may be contributing to a very poor operation, a very unsafe, unhealthy, inhumane operation if you get a pet from a pet store.
If you don't feel like saying it, I will say it. Do not buy a pet, a live animal from a pet store.
There you go.
Don't do it. There are some pet stores that are enlightened. There's one that I'm aware of that sells all the pet supplies, but the cages are there for various animal shelters or Humane Society to occasionally bring pets in so that they may be adopted.
That's correct. And actually, the two organizations that do that in our area are PetSmart and Petco. And we are fortunate to have space in the New London PetSmart store where we adopt cats surrendered to the Connecticut Humane Society, fully vetted, ready to go. And yes, there are some stores
Right.
that understand the concept and really do great work in the community. So certainly those stores might be businesses you'd
Right.
consider patronizing.
Right, right. So just so that you are rescuing,
Exactly.
you're saving a life, and you're
Exactly.
adding to a pet becomes a member of the family, and that's the way I look at it. So
Absolutely.
people love their pets too, for the most part.
They absolutely do. And another thing that we want to remind people when we're talking about reducing pet overpopulation is spay-neuter.
So important.
Spay-neuter is exceedingly important, and that has actually been shown to be even more important than adoptions.
Yeah.
Not to downplay adoptions. We want people adopting, but spay and neuter is incredibly important, and we want to encourage everybody to make sure they practice spay-neuter.
When you see how many feral cats that exist out there, and that's a whole different situation
It is.
than a dog.
It is.
But it just goes to show you the necessity for spay and neutering your pets.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're going to get into this a little bit more. We'll meet Moser just in the second segment. But when you lock eyes with one of these adorable creatures that you'll visit, either on the website or hopefully go to one of your locations in person, you just fall in love. I think anyway.
We have so many wonderful pets. We have so many wonderful stories, and the pets that come to us, they're not always perfect. They sometimes need help behaviorally. They sometimes need a lot of help medically, and thanks to the goodwill of the community and the support of the community, we're able to provide those things for the animals. We have a ever-growing, ever-expanding behavior program where we have behavioral technicians in each of our shelters now that work to train the animals, assess the animals according to the SAFER temperament test, provide services to our clients so our clients can have some aftercare advice, and the support of the community makes our medical work possible. Just this past year alone, a couple of examples of pets we were able to save because of the generosity of the community. A dog, a young puppy that got into rat poison, and the owners couldn't afford to deal with that. They surrendered her to us. Aurora was the pet's name. We got her into emergency care, then foster care, and she's became healthy and got a new home. We received a cat actually brought to our Waterford shelter, a cat named Slinky, who was abandoned there. He had been hit by a car, he had a head tilt, and our medical team was able to care for him. Unfortunately, his leg did need to be amputated, but he recovered very quickly.
Saved his life. Yeah.
Exactly, the staff saved his life, and he found a wonderful new home. And none of that work would be possible without the community. So we're just so grateful.
One thing I know that you do is you work in concert with other organizations to maybe like occasionally trade pets, just to give a sort of a fresh scenery to see if an adoption, if it doesn't seem to be working out at one place, maybe swap them out somewhere else to see if they can get adopted at that other place or at your place.
Well, I love the fact that you're asking that question, and actually the way the program works is we have very strong and growing relationships with several animal control departments throughout our state. Right here in this neck of the woods, we've worked with Groton, we've worked with New London, Montville. In our Newington location, we work with Newington, New Britain, Manchester, so many different animal control organizations. We also work with other private shelters, both within our state and outside of our state borders. And the purpose of the program is all of the shelters we're working with do have time limits for adoption, and they have a lot of pet overpopulation challenges.
Yeah.
And so we work with them to take pets that will fit into our program and help them get adopted more quickly and help them save more pets. And then on the other side of the coin, if we have pets that really aren't suitable to be placed through a traditional shelter environment, we reach out to rescue groups, both in Connecticut and outside of Connecticut borders, to help those pets get the second chance that they deserve.
Before we run out of time, I know you have an event that you want to talk about coming up.
We do. On July 20th, we have the Central Connecticut Pet Fair Dog Walk and 5K Road Race. This is a partnership event with the Meriden Rotary, and it starts at 8 a.m. We have 5K run on a certified course in Hubbard Park in Meriden. There's a dog walk. There's a kids fun area, there's activities, there's vendor booths. It's just going to be a wonderful day. The event is from 8 to 2, and you can find out about it and register to participate at cthumane.org.
My radio station just did an event, 2 Trees In with Foxwoods, and there was a new dog walk event. And were you there for that?
That dog walk event was to benefit the Connecticut Humane Society. We are just so delighted that Foxwoods and the partnership you mentioned reached out to us, and it was a great event.
Yeah.
Absolutely great.
Glad we could be there for that. So the website, you just mentioned it. Go learn more and consider bringing an adorable pet into your life. You won't regret it. It becomes a member of the family. Thank you for being on the show today, Alicia. And we'll take a break and come back, and we'll meet a special guest, Moser, and also a behavioral technician, Rachel McCabe. So we'll take a break and be back. This is For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. Stay with us. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. Our guest for this segment is Rachel McCabe. She is Waterford's behavioral technician, and she joins us with Moser, who's really the star of the show. Nothing personal, Rachel. First of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us, by the way, what a behavioral technician is.
Basically, what my job is to do is to temperament test all the dogs to see if there's any initial possession, aggression issues, as well as their overall social demeanor. After that, we can provide them behavior modification, basic obedience exercises, basic enrichment, anything that we can do to help ease their transition into the shelter while they're staying with us, and then find the best home that's suited for them.
So that's extremely important, because you need to know how to place them in a proper home depending on their temperament.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of things to take into consideration, I would imagine, whether they're suited to be with other animals, if there are animals in the house already, children, and things like that. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, for example, for Moser, through his temperament test, we've gotten a pretty good gauge of his personality. So we feel for him that he would do best in a home with a variety of children, all ages, pending introduction. So we would have the kids come in and meet him to see how they got along. And we would also do that if there was any resident dogs in the home.
Okay, so it would be sort of a test run for a little
Correct.
bit, right?
We would have them come into the shelter, we would have everyone meet, and as long as they were compatible, then we would have them adopt the dog.
Now, I've spent some quality time off the air with Moser. I can't see how any other dog or person would not love Moser's. Completely friendly, got lots of energy. You need to be able to have energy to be able to have Moser with you, because he's a ball full of energy, isn't he? Yeah. What kind of a dog is Moser?
Well, he's down as a terrier mix. We believe he could have some possible Schnauzer in him, maybe some poodle as well. So both are very active breeds, and he's only 2, so he's got both aspects of energy in him.
So he's a teenager then, basically. Now, that thing that you're using there, he loves it. What is that exactly?
This is a lickety stick, and this one happens to be bacon flavored, which is his favorite, as we all love bacon.
Right.
And basically, there's liquid inside, and when he licks this little ball, it slowly dispenses it, which makes it a little bit easier instead of reaching into your treat pouch all the time and constantly giving, where this is a little bit easier. You reach down, he licks it, and then you can take it away as needed.
What other flavors are there?
They have chicken, beef. I really think, though, that the bacon is my personal favorite. But
have you sampled it? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, well, maybe a little bit.
Now, you did mention the treat pouch. You do have that.
Yes.
Now, since you sort of train, that's sort of a big technique, right?
It is. You know, holding the leash in one hand, getting the
Moser's
food out
trapped,
in the
I
other.
think, there a little bit.
No.
There you go, Moser. You're all right now.
So what we use the treats for are luring and rewards. We use positive reinforcement training only, which is proven to be the most successful best effective way at getting the dogs to really enjoy what they're doing and learning as well.
Is there ever really a reason to use negative reinforcement? I don't.
As far as like physical punishment, things like that, we've really found that just doing positive reinforcement, keeping it light, happy, fun for the dogs, they really learn a lot quicker. There's no reason to enforce any kind of physical punishment on the dog. They don't learn, and it's not fun for the dog. We would never condone harming the dog in any way, and which is why we use only positive reinforcement training.
And I wish more, potential pet owners would know and understand that and learn that too, because
right, it's more rewarding for the people and the dog. It really builds a strong bond between the pets and the owners, and you want the dog to look to you as their not just someone who owns them, but their friend, someone that they can look to for guidance and
member
really,
of the family.
Correct, really enjoy being there with you.
I also noticed that, and we talked about this a little bit, the sort of the shoulder harness as opposed to just the collar.
What we do, what you see on here, which is the red part, we have his Easy Walk harness, and then we have his collar, so it's clipped to both. We use the Easy Walk harnesses because they clip in the chest versus up by the shoulder blades, which sometimes inadvertently causes the dog to pull, which is not what you want when you have them on a harness. So with it clipping in the chest, it allows you more central control over their body, which allows you thus controlling them a little bit better and not having them pull all over the place.
Also, I would imagine if you're just using a collar, there's more of a chance where it could kind of shimmy out of it, and that's certainly not something you want either.
We don't really walk the dogs at the shelter on collars because what it can do is damage their trachea and their throat if they're very chronic pullers. And then it's not really teaching them to walk appropriately. Dogs are very pressure sensitive. If something's pushing on their throat, they're going to push back at it, which is why you get the pressure off the throat onto a body harness or a gentle leader or just something that's redirecting the pressure in a positive manner, and a lot of times they'll behave much better.
Now, as a behavioral technician, is that something that you need to be trained for before you even come in the first place?
Absolutely. We do look for people that have had basic handling skills in the past, but also have a good sense of kind of a little bit of doggy psychology. Dogs, even cats, other animals, they think and behave a lot differently than humans do. So you really need to have a good gauge of where their mentality is at, so we as people can teach them what we call an English second language so that we can communicate to them in our language.
Are they just responding to basically the tone of your voice for the most part, or do they understand commands?
Tone of the voice certainly does help. You want to keep it nice, airy, positive. There's no reason to say sit to a dog 10 times in a matter of 2 seconds. They can hear you, they're not deaf. But tone of voice certainly helps. Just say the command once in a nice, calm voice. And then over time, through positive reinforcement training and lures and rewards, the dog will learn how to do a specific command on cue.
Now, because this is the Connecticut Humane Society and your goal is to get as many dogs adopted, and they end up there for various reasons. So can we assume that the majority of them aren't really trained, at least speaking specifically about the dogs? Cats obviously is a different situation, but a lot of them, your role is kind of needed because most of them probably don't have any kind of formal training.
The majority of the animals we do get in our owner surrenders for very, very various reasons. And most of them have not been through any kind of basic obedience or any training at all. A lot of animals that come to us because they can't handle the animal anymore, which could have simply been avoided through just a basic obedience course. A lot of dogs are surrendered because of specific behavior issues, which could have been corrected through behavior modification. So both we do offer. So when the dog comes in, we offer them either the training or the modification to target that specific problem area, fix it, and then put them up for adoption under specific requirements to find them the best suitable home.
No, you didn't realize until I told you, but I do a radio interview once a week with your staff, Denise from your staff. What is her title there?
Denise is the office manager.
Okay, and you got the office manager coming on the radio with me every week too. And Brandon fills in for her when she is not available. And he also sends us all the information and always a nice picture of the pet of the week. We put it on our Facebook page and our website too. What's he do there, by the way?
Brandon is the assistant manager there.
Okay. So here's another thing that I really like about the Connecticut Humane Society is if a pet goes to a home and it doesn't work out, you will accept it back.
Absolutely.
The goal is to get the pet in the proper home, and you don't want a pet in a bad situation. So if it doesn't work out for whatever, you try like really hard to make sure that it's the right home.
Absolutely.
But they're allowed to come back.
Absolutely. It's actually in our contract that if you're no longer to accept the animal for whatever reason or for whatever time that has gone by, we always accept our animals back. And what we do is if there's a behavior reason why they can no longer keep the animal, what we'll do is we'll offer them behavioral assistance in the home if they want to keep the dog. So we'll work with them to overcome whatever issue may be arising. And if they've tried it or they're not willing to at that point, then we'll more than happy accept them into the shelter, give them what they need, and then find them another home.
Besides dogs and cats, what else do you have there? Because sometimes something exotic will come into
Oh,
you,
yes.
right?
We have a small animal that's filled right now, small animal room. Right now we have a really fluffy rabbit. She's so cute. We have 2 rats, males, and then we have a parakeet that just came in the other day and a chinchilla.
No kidding. Wow. Some things just aren't meant to be pets, or at least for some people, right?
It really depends on your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Not everybody is going to be thrilled with raising a puppy if they don't have the time.
Right.
Not everyone has the time for a large breed parrot. You know, everyone's home. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's home and environment is so different. And on the other side of it too, not every animal is suited for everyone.
And that's why, as much as you want to get as many pets into homes, there is a bit of a vetting process with the potential owner to make sure there's a proper match, right?
Yes, absolutely. What we do is when the people come in and they express an interest in a dog or a cat or whatever various animal it may be, what we do is we go over their paperwork behaviorally, medically, let them know everything about the animal that we know, and then we have them meet in an interview room to see if the animal likes them, if they like the animal. If they like the animal, they fill out an application and we go from there.
Is it an amazing feeling to see an immediate connection between a pet and a potential owner where you can see that there's chemistry and positive energy?
Absolutely. We've had some animals that we've shown to multiple families, and then that one special person will come along and you can just see the animal light up and you can just see the connection and you can see how much joy that particular animal will bring to that person, and you just know this is something special.
Makes your job all worthwhile, doesn't it?
Yes.
If somebody wants to, and I don't see any reason why someone shouldn't adopt Moser, Moser or anybody else at your place, what can they do?
Well, if anyone's interested in Moser, they're more than welcome to stop down at our shelter. It's 169 Old Colchester Road in Quaker Hill. They can stop down anytime between 10:30 to 5, Monday through Saturday. And Sundays are 11 to 3:30. They're also welcome to check out our website at cthumane.org, and his profile will be on there with all of our other lovely animals. Or they can call us as well for more information at 860-442-8583.
And the Quaker Hill, Connecticut Humane Society for your neck of the woods, for people watching in other parts of the state, they can be steered to a Humane Society location that's a little closer to them.
Absolutely. We also have 2 other locations, Newington and Westport.
All right. A behavioral technician is what Rachel McCabe is, and that's Moser, and we thank you both for being on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for joining us for another edition of For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. We will see you next time. Take care.